It's happening again.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay?
Hi guys, welcome. Scatlink here. We're off for an important update for the entire YouTube community. I guess the only way I can put it. Let's get the screen up right now. We're back to this screen again. Obviously it's changed due to, you know, changes with Google and YouTube and all that, but yeah, that date's familiar. The 2nd of May 2017. Yeah, 2 days right before my birthday, and yeah, that's when you could no longer use annotations or create them. All previous videos would still have it, except for this particular highlighted point. Update. We will stop showing existing annotations to viewers starting on 15th of January 2019. All existing annotations will be removed. Now, let's get to this. Now, here's the thing. Annotations, when they were originally not going to be able to be created but still exist, was a big thing, because this means that we were forced to use the YouTube end screen that we have to all adapt to. Video in the card above me, because annotations aren't a thing, we have to use these as well as the end screen in order to talk about other things. But one of the major issues that I'll say immediately, and there'll probably be links in the description as well for channels and playlists, if I can fit them in, that will be another issue, because you can only have up to 5 things in that card above there, that little exclamation mark that appears on the corner of the screen, as well as 4 elements on your end screen. So that is original. That was the original big pet peeve. Second big peeve is that you have to pretty much design the screen around YouTube, not the other way round, because with annotations you had total freedom, and we're going to go through that again, but this time we're actually going to be looking at it proper instead of having like a slideshow thing going on like I did before, because that's just static screens. But here I need to actually show what functionality is going to be lost to older videos of YouTube's past. And I don't know how long annotations have been around, but I would assume they've been around for pretty much as long as YouTube has. Maybe give or take maybe 1 or 2 years since its launch. But for the most part, that's like pretty much a generations worth of, in terms of the internet, multiple generations worth of YouTube content since its start losing some sort of functionality, correction, or advertisement as such. I mean, they probably stopped it for advertisement purposes, but that's like a big thing. So what we're going to do is, because the rest of this article is pretty much the same as it was last time, whereas it says here the annotation use has decreased by over 70%. That's the same exact wording from last time at the time of that was posted, which was, you know, before May 2017. But now we're in the coming end of November, the beginning of December 2018, the final month of 2018, and yeah, literally in a couple months from now, annotations are going to be gone. So if you look at the top of the screen here, not the card or anything, but the top of the actual capture that I've got going on, I am loaded with ammo. I've got this entire thing set up so we can just go from one to the next to talk about like some features of functionality that we're going to lose on previously made videos. And these are all previously made videos. Some of these aren't even my own. And I'll say right now, disclaimer, I do not own the videos that I'm about to show off that are not mine. They belong to other people, but I've muted all videos because we're not gonna. This is a serious discussion, and this is covering everything for the entire YouTube community. This concerns them as well, which is why I've chosen a few choice videos from Ashen's, Tear of Grace, and SMG4. I'm naming them right now, so you guys know when we get to them. Their channels will appear in the top in the card above the screen, so you can watch the videos yourself if you want to. But they do the ones I'm specifically showing and talking about, muted, are not for, you know, copyright infringement purposes. It is for actually helping them and helping others understand what annotations are going to be lost, because this has been going through my head all day, and this is the first time I've had a chance to actually talk about it. So let's get into some of my stuff first of all. So first of all, of course, we're never going to escape it, Undertale. I've just picked an episode out of random here, and immediately on the very first couple of frames we've got this little navigation bar that I have designed to look similar in design to the game's battle menu, but instead of attack, it's rewind. Instead of instead of saying next, it's onward. Checkpoints is not items, but that is the playlist. And true reset obviously just takes you back to episode 1. I stuck that there, so you go straight back to the beginning. Didn't need to be there, but you know, I was trying to keep a certain graphical style, and it gave me a lot of creativity in order to make these buttons the way they were to match the game, and that's exactly what I'm on about. Creativity. For one thing, a navigation bar. So, I mean, all my Let's Plays after my first one, Twilight Princess, had navigation bars up until the point where it was announced that there was not going to be any more annotations, which pretty much was Undertale, funnily enough. This was the last project, because it actually came down to crunch time, because I wanted to get the series pretty much done until bonus episodes came along with the PS4, PS Vita, and Nintendo Switch versions, and then all the unboxings, as well as blooper reel as well, and all those other bonus contents. Playlist will be shown somewhere if I can fit it in. If not, it'll be in the description below. That's something else that annoys me. You have to put links in the description now, because that's the only other way you can have a link to relevant to talk about whenever you want. So, but anyway, so yeah, I can click onward and it will take me to the next episode. So if I just click it, takes me to the previous episode, so to the next episode, excuse me. It's now 125, so we'll just press back up to get back to 24. So that's pretty much when I have annotations at the beginning of a video. Fair enough. But even though that these may not need to be used, and they cannot be used on TV and mobile, by the way, which they should have made, they should have updated to make compatible, because that's probably the reason why they weren't getting used. You didn't update them, so instead you introduced something new and expected us to move over. And because you took this away, so we couldn't, took it away, so we couldn't make any new ones, we had to adapt. But at least these still had functionality at the time. Now, in a couple months' time, as to recording this video, that's going to be dead graphics at the top of the screen there. That's just going to look very fancy. It's like rewind, onward, checkpoints, true reset. And if someone is on a web browser like this, and you click it, you're just going to pause the video like that. So that's not going to do anything, and it's just dead graphics. When they removed the ability to make new annotations on new videos and existing videos, fair enough. At least the existing ones to exist, and we can edit the existing ones. Now we're not even going to be able to do that. In fact, they're just going to wipe the feature clean out of YouTube, which disabling the ability to make them in the first place didn't really make much point to me, because the code is still there for them to exist. But now they're removing it outright, and that means everything's getting affected, and that's what we're going to get back to. So this, not too big of a problem, it's just going to be dead graphics, fair enough. But other things like, you know, correcting a spelling mistake, or you didn't have you forgot to put like a whole block of text in for some reason to explain something a little bit more clearly. Annotations helped you do that as well, fair enough, but that's going to be lost. You can easily do that with a pinned comment now. Okay, and that's available whenever, not at the time. So let's go to the end of one of my Undertale videos, because I have like a credits crawl for everyone who did voice acting in that episode. So we'll just play here. Here we are. So we're on the ending screen right here. So special thanks to voice acting. Shows you who voiced it, fair enough. And if we scroll down, just to be on the safe side, I put the links in here. Plus, Stella Condrite doesn't have a YouTube channel, so I can't actually link that with an annotation at the time. And if I want to link to her Tumblr, which at this point she was using DeviantArt, if I want to link to her Tumblr, I had to make an actual post in my Patreon, so I can make that as like a supported page link. So you click that, and then you can go straight to her thing. So there's a little bit of a workaround with the end cards and with the end screen and card setup that YouTube provides now as an alternative for annotations. But I still think annotations have way more creatability, and they were a lot more less clutterable, because you can make them transparent and you can still click it if you know where you're clicking. Or, you know, graphics within the video say otherwise. You're just making that an interactable button, which is no longer a thing. Which, like I said, limits creativity on a creative platform. I cannot stress that enough. This is something that, like, really resonates with me. But yeah, got a link for Stella Condrite's DeviantArt there, because if I go over here, I can't click it. It just comes up with her DeviantArt, because you can't click it, but it still displays the image on screen. But to be honest, I mean, if I click Super Nincario's channel, I'll be able to actually go to that. If I click it, it will do so. There we are. there's our Super Mario 64 multiplayer. But yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it doesn't matter, to be honest, if those get removed, because even though that is a credit scroll, I mean, there's Papyrus right there, Kazuaki. Yeah, it doesn't matter really if those annotations go, because, I mean, this is one of those points where if annotations go, it's not a big deal. But remember, annotations gone, flat out, will affect more than just this specific one. Here, on this video, it's not going to do too much. Like, the navigation bar at the beginning of the videos, I can live without, because I've adapted to that. This credit sequence where you can click the name, that's just for convenience. Obviously, I do that with end cards now, if the end screens now if I can, or, you know, the cards in the corner that appear around about here, where I'm moving my mouse, or here, if you, whatever. But yeah, here though, this is an end screen intended for you to, you know, have the ability to go to the next video if you want to. Of course, if you're in the playlist, it'll do it by itself. And if you're in the playlist, you can just press the playlist to go to the playlist itself as well. And you got my social media page. Okay, fair enough. Once again, the navigation bar goes, and you still get a nice little image to look at the end of the episode. Fair enough. But you still have some dead graphics that no longer have any functionality, and you can't do anything about that because YouTube is just saying, nope, wipe, get rid of all that. You can't, they're just dead now. And you can't change it unless you want to completely remake and re-upload the videos, but then you lose all the likes, all the comments, all the dislikes, to be fair, and yeah, and all the views that you build up from that very video, as well as the analytics that affect everything else. That's kind of a problem. But you know, Undertale, not too bad, so we can get rid of that for now. So here's another one. Now this is more of an issue than any that I have to bring up. This is the Undertale blooper reel for all the bloopers that we had during voice acting and stuff for the project. But here, everyone's available on this screen, and once they all load in, because I had them appear in a certain way, so if I just rewind here, they all fade in like that and whatnot. And then now all the annotation boxes appear, as you can see that. So every time you highlight, it tells you who it is, except for Scatlink, of course, because of, you know, no YouTube, so it's either Tumblr or Tumblr or DeviantArt, which at the time was DeviantArt. Will Fons, me, Connor Meza, Sibling Harry Master, Aaron, Dag6, and obviously, so you know what I used for Metaton, the TTS reader. But that doesn't need to be there. But that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 people. So if I wanted to have everybody's channel clickable, I would have to use all 5 items here, and you can only put 4 items on the end screen, and the end screens, for whatever reason, can't be with the annotations. Don't understand that. But if I wanted to have everybody's channel featured and clickable in the video, I would have to use all 5 cards and all 4 elements available for the end screen, and I can't advertise the playlist. I can't have, well, obviously I would have a subscribe button myself, but I won't be able to advertise the playlist for the actual project that you've been watching, because the blooper reel covers the entirety of the game. Because we were all voice acted while playing the game, and that's the whole a whole 30 episodes, 30 plus episodes. So I can't advertise the playlist because I've already literally used all the points for 9 people. Yes, that's 10 people here, but remember that's not really a thing. And I guess 8 as well, since I could leave out the Scatlink and put in the playlist, but those end screens actually allow me to put Patreon in there, and because I link it directly to the page that allows you to click onto her Tumblr, that's the workaround, and I can display her image as well, so it's like I'm advertising her channel, if you really want to call it like that. So that's still all 9 spots used, and that leaves no other room for anything else. If I wanted to do it any other way, I could keep the playlist and everything else on the end screen, and, you know, have everyone's links down here. But I put that there just for convenience, and again, if we scroll up, this is more just like a credit than anything else, but that text in the middle is part of the video. It says click to check out their content, unless stated, but that unless stated for Scatlink and the TTS reader, never going to display. If you try to click any of these images, you're just going to pause the video. So now, the middle part of this video is dead graphics, and it's going to confuse new viewers that come to the video. I mean, it may not. They may think nothing of it, they may be aware, but they may also not be aware. And that could potentially get content creators' comments like, this video is like 4 years old, for example. just for example, this video is 4 years old, and none of these buttons work. Are you really that, well, are you really that lazy, or was there some sort of problem? Did you forget, or what? And then your force are saying, YouTube removed the comment. YouTube removed the functionality to make that a thing. It was a thing, but now it's gone. Sorry for the inconvenience. I don't know why I was about to say comment, but it is a comment that you got to make, and that just paints YouTube in a negative light, and it's self-inflicted because they just come out of nowhere without having a video or anything like that. Do you know how I found out? On a little blue bar at the top of your video manager pops up, and it gave you a link to go to this page. Because I've clicked the link, it's gone now. But you get what I mean, and that shouldn't be a thing. And I just realised I don't need history there. That was so I could actually get all the videos I needed. So yeah, but you get what I mean. So yeah, the middle part there is dead graphics, but the rest of the video is like perfectly fine. Yeah, and that's the end of the video. So that's that one. So now let's go to our South Park Stick of Truth Let's Play, the prequel to South Park Fractured But Whole, which is the latest South Park endeavor by Matt Stone and Trey Parker. So here, one of the things about South Park Stick of Truth is that there was a split in the story. And because I was playing on PS3 and not on PC, plus my PC wasn't exactly the best at the time, so it definitely wouldn't be able to play the game or record it, because it was way outdated. I mean, hell, when did this video come out? 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago, so I was using an outdated machine. This game, I wouldn't be able to play on PC, so, and at the time, I was playing it half blind, and the Let's Plays I did watch were actually on PC, so I wasn't aware of the censorships that happens on console versions, which didn't happen in Fractured But Whole, thankfully. But I covered both sides of the split, and that's why you got like this extra big navigation bar. So you can go, so like for example, you can go to the playlist, or you can click switch teams, which goes to, well, this is part 22, Drow Elf version. So this will switch over to the episode 22 human version, and vice versa. So if I click switch teams now, I'll be on the human version. If I click switch teams again on that video, I'll go back to episode 22, Drow Elf, this version. Playlist, of course, previous elf, next elf, or next human, and previous human. So if you've come to switch over, but then you want to go back, you have got that. This cannot be replicated very easily. I mean, you can have a playlist, you could have next episode for one story, you could have the same episode for the other story, or the next episode for the other story, but then there's no subscribe button, which you don't really need, because for the most part I do have a watermark in the corner of the screen on most videos. Does it appear on this one? It's not appearing on this one. Strange. Maybe it doesn't happen on older videos, but you can obviously scroll down just a tad and then click subscribe. Of course, I'm on my own channel, so it won't give me that button, but you get what I mean. So you could forego that, but people normally have that because they're not going to scroll down unless they need to make a comment. Then they could hit subscribe if they want to. But because you have it on the actual video, it also gives the ability to just hit the button on screen. But plus on websites, mobile devices and TV web browsers. So, but yeah, that's just something that annoys me. And of course, if we just go to the end, we have our usual end card, which looks really good. You have social media link, well, URLs for you to type in to find me, which is perfectly fine. But again, the top part, dead graphics. That's, again, it's mostly when it comes to navigation bars, it's dead graphics, or if I say or highlight something or click these names, that's when it's a dead graphic at the moment. But for the end cards, they still are a nice little image with some music playing, and then you got that. But of course, with the YouTube end screens, I'm using them now. Just watch. When they remove that, we're going to have two variations of end cards. That one creative, one that had to go to YouTube's like new standards, and then we will have issues all over again, I bet you. Even though everyone's using the end cards, because I guess it's a lot less cluttered in a way, but at the same time, this is way more creative than what you normally have at the end of the video. I mean, we do try our best, but I still prefer annotations, and I'm just sad that they've now gone completely from old videos where they goddamn work. So it just annoys me. So that's that. But now we're coming to my Fire Red Nuzlocke. When you look at this, other than the navigation bar that's always prevalent, fair enough. That's not a problem. There is actual no end card because I just end the video because the border in my design at the time, remember this is quite old by the way, this was pretty much my end card, but it was because the navigation bar is always on screen and you can click them whenever. Previous episode, playlist, next episode. It's pretty cool. But I wanted to be a bit unique when it came to my Nuzlocke. So you have a reserve box, so it tells you all the Pokemon I have in the PC. It has a graveyard box, so it shows you all the Pokemon that's dead. Not the standard norm for people who do Nuzlockes with borders. Normally they display like the progress of your bars, of your badges, excuse me. You have a screen for your webcam, which I did in my next Nuzlocke, which was Emerald, and it was a randomizer. And of course your main party. So I wanted to do a little bit different and have all the Pokemon that I've caught in a reserve box displayed on screen, so that anyone can like decide, oh, maybe suggest to put a Pokemon in or swap it out or something, and I might oblige in the next few recording sessions. And you can see who I've lost, and you'll be like, oh damn, that dude's dead, and you know. But I wanted to go a step further and be unique, and this took forever in the latest episodes in order to edit. It took me almost like 2 hours a night, and you could highlight a Pokemon, and it tells you where I caught it, and if there was any conditions for me to catch it. In this case, Growlithe here, on this particular episode 17, it took me 3 Dupes clauses in order to get, because I had that in effect. So it took me 3 Dupes clauses to catch Growlithe on Route 9 in the wild. The Voltorb was 8 Dupes clauses caught on Route 10 in the wild. Let's go to this one in the box. Route 11 in the wild, the reason why it's in a blue box, because it matches with the blue box and the reserve box, it's separate, that's because it's in the daycare. That box is now going to go as well, but that's a minor issue. But if we go to Bulba, caught Pallet Town as a starter, Holy Mackerel, memes, caught at the Pokemon Center, I had to buy it for 500 Poké-Dollars. It gives you a little bit of extra metadata. Like, I went to the effort so that at any point during the video, it's like, how did you get this Pokemon again? Oh, there you go, and you get the metadata. And I thought that was really unique. And this may just be being a little pretentious, but it was something that I'm pretty sure no one had done with annotations, like, have metadata for anything that's on screen. I mean, to be honest, Chugga Conroy did that with Xenoblade Chronicles, and I might actually put up one of his episodes, actually. That's something I thought to do, so I might do that in a jump cut. But that's all going to be gone now. So his intention to have that as like an end card, where you can like highlight every item in the Collectopedia, and now it's just going to be blank. It's going to defeat the whole purpose. And that took him a whole year to do that project. Does he really have to edit those videos again? I don't think that's right. So we'll get to that right now, because like this right here, look, you can just highlight any one. Yes, it's a bit buggy because they kind of overlap a tad, but yeah, as long as you like highlight them one at a time like this, it's like you get all this metadata. And in the later episodes, that's goddamn fair. I mean, you know what? Screw it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Let's go to one of the later episodes. Burning Stupidity. Let's do that. Skip the intro, and the music's playing. I'm taking it off. Come on. Look at all this. Look at all these Pokemon. 8. Route 16. Route 12. Let's go all the way down to Coughing here. Burnt Mansion. Route 21. Route 14. Let's go to the Death Box here. Both of those two Pokemon, because they like the one annotation, save on editing, and it was a lot less messy then. Both of these Pokemon that you highlight, either one died. Episode 26, Sylph Co building. You see, it tells you. I know I'm spoiling it for you guys, but it's just an example. It gives you the metadata. Let's check Mavis. Game Corner. 2,800 coins. Agorog. Pewter City. Fossil. We got the fossil at Pewter City. So you get the metadata for it. It tells you where I got the Pokemon. So it's like, that took bloody forever. Look how many Pokemon are on screen in the border. That took forever. And that pisses me off a lot, because this is probably the one that I really use annotations to their full effect, and it was on every episode, and it took forever, and now it's just going to get wiped because YouTube says so. We don't get a say in it. There's no vote. It's just a thing. It's literally 2 years after they pulled the plug on allowing you to actually make them. They're just going to be gone on all older videos. So let me go get the Joe Conroy's Undertale Chronicles episodes. Okay, so here is what his end card for Xenoblade Chronicles. Remember, this took him a year to do. This is his most favourite game ever. And he had an ear infection for 4 months, and he's also one of the direct influencers for me to make my channel. I love this guy. And the thing is that, look at this end card right here. This is his end card. No special, like, pan of an area or something. Look at that navigation bar. Previous playlist next. It was a standard for Let's Plays at the time. And they will take you where they want you to go. So he did those navigation bars as well. But they're annotations, yeah. And there's like Galahad Fortress Collectopedia. So he takes a screenshot of the Collectopedia, and then for the end card, and then with annotations you can highlight, and he puts the data in the box like it would in the game. This is quality beyond belief. This is what I did for my Pokemon Nuzlocke. This is what I did for my Fire Red Nuzlocke. Metadata in a presentable manner using annotations to their full effect. This is actually what when did he do this? When did he do this? 2014. I did my Pokemon Fire Red Nuzlocke in 2015. This was one of my direct inspirations to do that for the border, because it was unique for a Pokemon Nuzlocke, and it's just going to get wiped. Look at this. Let's highlight this bug. That's a wheel lurker, so that slot in the game, you put a wheel lurker in there if you have it in your inventory, and bang, it's filled in the Collectopedia. That's a wheel lurker, and it tells you where you can find them, at what times, and how many there are in the area. So he literally tells you everything. So it's like, wheel lurker, where is it located, how many are in that area at that time of the day. Tail antenna, splish splash, no trades. Oh, overlap them. See, happens on his video as well, not just mine. Hunger crash. All strange, so when you fill up the entire slot, he tells you what you get as a reward. This is a dead end card by all stretch. Because look, if I don't highlight anything, it says turn on annotations or check description for trade info. Okay, so yes, you can scroll down into the video description. So he's covered his bases here. You can like have a look down here, and it's like bug, and then parts, and then strange, 100% completion, blah blah blah. So he has covered everything from the end card into the description, but so fair enough, it's been backed up in that way. But at the same time, all this on this screen, literally this entire end card, is a waste of an end card. The navigation bar doesn't work. The screenshot is uninteresting because it was specifically used as a checklist with using annotations to display information without being an absolute cluster mess of text. And the text itself pretty much says turn on annotations. The only dead graphic here on this end card, and all the end cards for the Collectopedia in this painstakingly effort-filled Let's Play of his, it's literally check description for trade info. How boring does that sound? I know it sounds petty, but if you watched Terra Conroy, you know what he went through in order to actually do this. The amount of times he's played for the game to make sure it was perfect, and even then, he's not infallible, he's only human, fair enough, and even then, it took him over a year to get this Let's Play done. Some episodes go over an hour. It's insane. All this effort, and even more effort after the video is rendered, to do all these annotations, put in the metadata, make it presentable so the data appears in the actual text box like it would in the main game, and YouTube is just like, no one uses them because you can't make any more for 2 years. Pull the plug. 10 plus years of YouTube videos affected by possibly millions of content creators. That's what I'm trying to home in right here. So I had to talk about Terra Conroy here, and I'm sorry, dude. I've been watching you since I was young, and I think this is out of order. So I appreciate the effort you went through to do this. I watched the entire Let's Play. I've tried playing for the game myself, but it's just not my kind of game on the 3DS, but still. But yeah, sorry for the effort for the end card to go down the drain 4 years after you've done it, but yeah, that's YouTube these days. So now, my Pikmin 2 end card. yeah, okay, it's a bit of a mess. There's a lot of stuff going on, but this was like halfway through. Wait, was this 2013? No, that was just 2015. Okay, whatever. But the reason why is because if you click this, it goes to the playlist of Pikmin 1. If you click this one up here, that's playlist for Pikmin 2, the game we're watching here. Part 2 of the day that we're on, which is day 12, or go yesterday, which is the beginning of day 11. So you go all the way through that again. Subscribe button, I tended to do that at that point, so it sticks out, but don't really need to do it anymore. And then obviously this button over here takes you to Meryl's channel, where we do the Pikmin 2 multiplayer. So that's all stuff. Now, with the YouTube's end screen of today, at the time of recording this, I could easily cut this down to playlist for Pikmin 2, playlist for Pikmin 1, and then my channel and then Meryl's channel. Easy. The reason being is because the battles from Meryl's channel are going to be in the playlist for Pikmin 2 anyway, and obviously Pikmin 1's the prequel, so might as well feature that playlist. But at the same time, it's like I would still like to have a next episode button in case you're not watching on the playlist and it's not comes up as recommended or what to watch next down below, where at this point the playlist is. So there, not much to talk about there, but it's still a thing that I wanted to talk about. Once again, this is basically trying to fit more than 4 buttons on an end screen, because that's the limit of YouTube's end screen system. Now, here we got Tear of Grace here, hilarious dude with a bit of a temper tantrum and a foul mouth, but he is funny. The inflections he puts on his words are amazing. So yeah, with I mean, you can tell just by what we're looking at right now. I'm not going to play sound as I said, but look at that, look at this. What just appeared on screen? He was making a joke and then he remembered, hang on a minute, that's actually a content creator. Let's link him in. Big screen, right here. In fact, hell, it's probably the actual size of what the end screen of YouTube of today at the time of recording this it actually makes. Thing is, though, this is 6 minutes out of 10 minutes in the video. It's not within the final 20 seconds. So, I mean, okay, fair enough. You can just, you know, remove annotations or whatever, but you could easily just, you know, put a card, that little exclamation mark at the corner of the screen, make a card at this moment, and just link to that guy's channel. Fair enough, but when annotations are gone, that means that that graphic is a half-dead graphic, because it shows you on the video, because you may not notice the little tag nut where the little exclamation mark pops up to tell you, hey, to click this, because, to be honest, I find it too small. And yes, it's not intrusive, but isn't that what you put a massive graphic on the video for in the first place? And because it's a massive graphic, and he mentions it, because annotations existed at the time, you would think, oh dang, click! You know? And you can also set it up to open a new tab so it doesn't kick you out of the video. Does it actually do that? Yes, he actually set it to go to the actual channel. And continue as actually with the normal boots. Interesting. So, yeah, he was making a joke and mentioned this channel, and there we are. So, But, so that could be half fixed by obviously having a card pop up at the same time this graphic appears, because if we just press play a little bit longer, it's gone. And so's the annotation. Easily fixable with a thing, but at the same time the graphic that was intended for can't be clicked on because it will just pause the video, but at the same time that will give you more chance to actually click the card in order to go do it. But that's still something, because that was like at the recording intended. If I mention this, I could put a graphic on screen and people can click the annotation. So now it's like, oh yeah, I'll have to mention this. Then I have to say, click in the card, so that when you're editing the video, as a mental note, okay, I gotta make this as a card, and maybe I'll put a graphic on so that it's more noticeable to click in the corner. So if they disappear, that's gonna be even more awkward, because it's like, click here for a YouTube built-in function. Not there. Same with annotations. Because they're removing annotations, it just makes you think if they're ever going to remove the features that they've forced to implement on us. So I don't know. It's weird, man. And of course, his end cards at the time Look at that. It goes on for way longer than 20 seconds, so of course he had to use annotations. Fair enough. And obviously, this is a channel that has adapted like many others. But look at how many things he can actually advertise at once here. A channel there, channel there, channel there, channel there, and a channel there. So that is 5 channels. And then 1, 2, 3 videos. And he's still got a annotation on the screen throughout the entire video, which takes him to the playlist of what you're watching, because this belongs in his wonderful one-offs playlist. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9. Plus, he advertised a channel that is not on the screen, so that's 10. You could remove the playlist, fair enough. So you'd have just barely enough to advertise all this with a combination of the end screen and the cards. But the cards pop up during the video most of the time. They're not going to be related if you try to space them out, so they still pop up. Otherwise, you're just going to have to advertise the one on the end screen and leave maybe move Binding of Isaac down a bit so that, you know, in videos layout it doesn't get covered up a bit when the card pops across the screen, and then you just got to scroll through that. But then if you want to do it that way, you might want to leave that side of the screen bare, and then you won't be able to fit it all on, because if you want to have at least 4 elements, it kind of uses the whole entire goddamn screen if you do not resize them bigger than what they are, because they come in their smallest pack and they're pretty big. So yeah, even if you try to use the YouTube's end screen feature to just put over your existing elements that were intended for annotations, not gonna work. They're too big, and even then they're probably out of range because I can't go to the edge of the screen. So yeah, there's many red flags about removing annotations from existing videos because they were made with that system in mind. I understand that we're trying to move on, so they stop you from using them, but they kept them, but now they're getting rid of them, and that's why I don't understand. Maybe it's because they're still not being used, but those videos are not going to get watched as often anymore, unless, you know, they get caught up in searches. So that's Tear of Grace. Of course, while I'm talking and showing all these guys off, the cards popping up above my head like crazy. Okay, so here we have the person who I've talked about many a time when I'm recording stuff in my hands, Ashens. Because, how does he record stuff? He records stuff normally with a couch, and, you know, he eats food, he messes with Gumph and all that, stupid little figures like that, and yeah. But this is his interactive video, Who Stole My Sofa? And this is an option called Go Without. Notice that it's very short. The whole thing's 27 minutes and you can watch the whole thing as it is, but the whole compilated original route can still be diverted off of if you click the annotations. And if we go to the end here, I mean, the way he's laid it out, you all you got to do, look, I paused the video, so I can click one of these two and it will take me to that thing. So if I just click it to accept the branded sofa, I've just initiated a different route. So now he's debating to actually get the branded sofa. So it's like an interactive video adventure, like those storybooks where it says if you want to turn left, go to page 25, or if you want to turn right, go to page 68. Something like that. So it's an interactive video using the annotations as choices. However, the way that he kind of like laid out the videos could easily be reconstituted for the end screen, because there's no more than 3 choices at a time. And you wouldn't have the playlist, you wouldn't need a subscribe button, because we didn't intend to have one here in the first place, unless you wanted to stick one in, but that would ruin the immersion. So for these 2 choices, or 3 choices, you could literally just have the 3 relevant videos, and they can be used on the end screen, the YouTube end screen. They can link to unlisted videos and unlisted playlists, so it's perfectly fine, just like these, because these videos, notice that it says at the bottom there, Who Stole My Sofa, Accept the Branded Sofa, unlisted, because the first episode you start from, and then you make your way through. It's intended to be that way, and that's pretty cool, and that's why it has so many likes, because they're so short, and people probably try to take different routes every time they play through. It is really good, and really interactive, and takes a lot of effort and time in order to make, especially when even with or without endorsements. So it's like, it's just a lot of effort, and this can be salvaged. What can't be salvaged, however, is if you've made the buttons in such a way that you intend to use annotations in a more creative way, because obviously he's just got a box with a little bit of a video feed. So if I press play again, we've got a bit of a video feed here for some of those screens. If I just rewind it a bit there, say that they play like a little video clip, just change that for the video, and the way that the in the YouTube end screen, and the way that the YouTube end screen displays it, that's easy. Just have the text. You don't even need text because it displays that as well. So you literally just freeze screen, have the text try again on screen, but then you wouldn't need to do anything else. Just plot the two things for the last 20 seconds and boom. This is within the last 20 seconds. So this can be remedied. Ashen's Stole the Sofa Interactive Video Adventure, IVA as I like to call it, Interactive Video Adventure, is not affected. What is affected though is SMG4's Mario Simulator Interactive. I mean, the way he's displayed the buttons here, fair enough. You could probably have like the videos displayed here as well, because if I just click get that mofo, we go to the next episode and it plays out. So I'm going to pause that for the moment. But notice once again it says unlisted. Now, as I said, it could probably like be fine. Yeah, there we are. It could be fine if you could like have the YouTube's end screen have the videos to go to what, but the way that he's done this is like click this icon on screen in order to use that very item. So if I want to use the cart, I'd click the cart. If I wanted to use Yoshi, I'd click Yoshi. But if you have that as a box for the next video, kind of loses its charm a bit. And you can't have it laid out like this as well. You would literally have to do it in what Ashen's did with having his icons just have like a little video clip. But this is supposed to be on like an on-the-fly decision, because if you don't actually choose quick enough, you fail. And he gets mad. So, and at some points you actually do get a game over if you don't act. Which you cannot do unless you have the choices appear for less than 20 seconds, because then you have to squeeze the ending in before those last 20 seconds. So that means that the choices will only appear for even shorter of a time. And 20 seconds for an interactive game like that, you might be thinking, but at the same time you could pause the video, so I don't know why they do that sort of thing. Unless you're just curious and like, what happens if I wait this out? Or, you know, fast forward. But at the same time, that's another thing. It's like the way that that was built, having basically like these thumbnails like right here. That's basically what the end card, the end screen does on YouTube. It pretty much puts that onto the video, superimposed onto the video, so you click it and go. These kind of buttons on a screen like this don't work very well, because I want to click the cart unless he makes the thumbnail of that video the cart. That would be the only way around it, but you still would lose the transparency. So you would have to pretty much take that very image of that cart in that box, make that the thumbnail for the video, and then put the video as close as possible there through YouTube's end screen system. That's the only way I can see that you could fix that, but you can't have them that close, and you can't shape them in any shape or form. They would always be the rectangle 16:9. So Yoshi, that definitely won't work, and you wouldn't be able to have it that close in between that, and you can't have 3 in one line either. You can't get them small enough. They won't fit. You can only have 2 right next to each other, and you have to move one up a bit. And considering it's a pipe, Yoshi, and a cart, that's not possible unless you have like a top-down view. So it's still not gonna... you could fix it to make it functional, but it won't be presentable in the way that you wanted it, because you can't change the video, because, oh, I don't know, it's like 3 years old. 3 years old. The 11th of July, 2015. So, yeah, that's my issue with this little update that they decide to just chuck out of nowhere. Starting on the 15th of January 2019, all existing annotations will be removed. 2 years, no, not even that, 1.5 years after they've stopped doing that in the first place. So, because May 2017... we've gone past May 2018, and yeah, it's January, so yeah, it's going to be 1.5 years since they just stopped. I mean, I stopped using annotations before then, because I said to myself, Undertale was going to be the last video series that I use annotations on, and since I have that format for the main game at least, because we've done episodes extra with PS4 and the Switch version, I wanted to actually finish it so that there wasn't like a change in, you know, like an inconsistency near the very end on how the end cards are displayed. I wanted to keep consistency, so there was a slight time crunch. No one got mad by it, as was already said at the end of the video. It was just waiting for the final lines, and we still had a little bit of leeway, but at the same time, I didn't want to take the risk. So, but yeah, I'm still glad I got that Let's Play done before we couldn't make annotations anymore, but at least the annotations that we did make didn't go to waste. But now they will be on the 15th of January 2019. I'm not going to lose too much sleep over this for my own videos, other than my Fire Red Nuzlocke. But I'm sorry for, as I say, because I'm sorry for Joe Conroy's end screens for certain episodes of his Xenoblade Chronicles Let's Play, because I know how long it took for him to make that. I know how long that project was, because I watched every minute of it. Yes, I watched it at 2-point speed, because some of the episodes were mega long, but I owed it to him, especially when he had to have a 4-month hiatus because of an ear infection. It's just, and he's made that public, so I can say that, because that's how I know about it. And yeah, so yeah. And look at this. Also, we want to give you more context. End screens and cards work on mobile. It's like, we talked about that in the previous video. It's like, it's because you didn't make them compatible. And we need to make this known. Well, and if we want to make a fight out of it, I say fight. It's like more like make it known that annotations on older videos need to stay, because they were made with the intent that annotations existed, because otherwise those elements wouldn't exist in the first place. Leave annotations where they are. Don't remove them. I mean, we didn't want them gone in the first place, but you kept them existing for older videos, which we were all fine with, which is why we moved on. But now you're just pulling the plug on them, and that's going to affect in IVAs, that's going to affect collection screen, annotation end card screens, like with Charles Conroy, or metadata for stuff like my Pokemon Fire Red Nuzlocke. All that effort is just going to be gone. I mean, most annotations don't even need clicking. Or most of the annotations I showed, that wasn't like advertising a channel or a navigation bar. All those metadata stuff, they don't get clicked on. They do not need to be clicked. You just need to hover over it, and there you go. So, because most people even use them for like to fix little editing mistakes, it doesn't need to be clicked on in order to warrant its existence. They're registering clicks. Not everything is defined by clicks. Sometimes it's defined by its functionality. The most basic use for the annotations was for just text. Most people don't even use. Most people don't link with annotations. It's used to It's used as like extra text boxes in case you've got to edit something in, or you need to correct an editing mistake, or you need to explain something else that kind of got lost, or you're using speech marks for some special edits. I mean, clicks aren't everything. It's more about the functionality and the care and the use that the annotations had. My Pokemon Fire Red Nuzlocke, all those annotations for that metadata, they can't be clicked on. Except for one, near the end. But yeah, none of those can be clicked on. They're just there for you to hover over them and get metadata. And the data is in those two areas that have no data in them. So they can all go in there, overlaid, and they display when you highlight the Pokemon. Charo Conroy, he went to the trouble to put all that data in the way that the game would intend to display it, for the convenience of any Let's Players or people that are trying to get information, because he's very informative in a walkthrough style, that may need help in a very in-depth and informative way. And yet, that's now just going to get wasted. That entire, like, 20 seconds of end card developed for that particular purpose is now going to be wiped just because you don't get enough clicks on something that doesn't function with a click. It's just dumb. So I'm just trying to voice my concerns here. I'm trying to be fair, but I know I'm not the most professional about this, but it's like it is kind of personal to me, but it's also affecting one of my favorite content creators, and it's affecting the community as a whole. I mean, it already did, and now it's affecting them again. And yeah, so yeah, I'm just going to have to leave it there for now. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Please check out the Discord if need be. There's a link in the description below. All my social media is in the description below. Any links that I can't fit on the end screen that's going to appear after this, or in the little exclamation mark card above in the corner, that I can muster, because remember, only 9 slots throughout the whole thing, 5 in there for the end screen, will be in the description as well. And I will see you guys for whatever video we do next. See you guys then.